Wellness Rhythm Show. Find your rhythm. Live your wellness.
Y'all, quick question. When was the last time you deliberately made yourself uncomfortable and actually felt better for it?
That is an oddly specific question for a Tuesday morning.
Here's the thing, though. Cold plunges, ice baths, saunas, they are everywhere right now. And I'll be honest, I've been skeptical. Like, is this actual science or is it just influencers sitting in barrels?
Right, so here's what I've learned. There is genuinely solid research underneath some of this. The marketing has gotten so far ahead of the evidence that it's hard to know what's real. Today we're cutting through that.
We're talking cold exposure versus heat therapy. What the science actually says, which one might be right for you, and whether you need to spend $1,000 on a tub to get the benefits. Spoiler, you do not.
The target is systemic chronic inflammation, which sounds clinical, but it is arguably the single most important factor underlying fatigue, joint pain, cardiovascular risk, and metabolic health for our audience.
And we are going to make this practical. Let's go.
So let's define what we're actually talking about. Chronic systemic inflammation is not the same as the swelling you get from a sprained ankle. That's acute inflammation, useful, protective. Chronic inflammation is a low-grade, persistent immune activation that quietly damages tissues over years.
And this is the thing nobody tells you. You can't feel it directly. It's not a headache. It's more like background noise your body never turns off.
Exactly, and researchers like Dr. Andrew Huberman at Stanford and the team behind the PREDIMMED study out of Spain have been quite clear that lifestyle factors, diet, sleep, movement, thermal stress, can meaningfully shift inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein and interleukin-6.
Thermal stress. That's the umbrella term here, right? For both cold and heat?
Correct. Deliberate exposure to temperature extremes as a hormetic stressor. Hormesis just means a small dose of something challenging that produces a beneficial adaptation. Same principle behind exercise.
I love that framing. It's the same reason a hard workout makes you stronger. You stress the system, it adapts, it becomes more resilient.
And that's why both cold and heat have genuine mechanistic support. They work differently, but both trigger real biological responses. So let's start with heat, because the evidence base is older and arguably more robust.
Hit me.
The Finnish sauna research is the most compelling long-term data we have. A landmark study published in JAMA Internal Medicine, and the lead researcher here is Dr. Jari Laukkanen at the University of Eastern Finland, tracked over 2,000 men for 20 years. Men who used a sauna 4 to 7 times per week had a 40% lower risk of cardiovascular mortality compared to once-a-week users.
40%. That is not a small number.
It's not, and the mechanisms proposed include reduced arterial stiffness, lower blood pressure, improved endothelial function, and, relevant to today, measurable reductions in C-reactive protein, which is a primary inflammatory biomarker.
So the sauna is doing something real, but I want to push back slightly here, because most of those studies are observational. The people going to saunas 4 times a week in Finland might just be healthier people generally.
That is a completely fair challenge, and the researchers acknowledge confounding variables. But there is supporting mechanistic research. Heat shock proteins, HSPs, are released during sauna exposure. These are cellular repair proteins. They help refold damaged proteins and reduce oxidative stress. That's a direct anti-inflammatory pathway.
Okay, that's the kind of detail I needed. It's not just correlation. There's a plausible reason it works.
Right. Now, cold exposure, this is where it gets more contested. The cultural momentum is enormous right now. Wim Hof, Andrew Huberman again, the whole cold plunge community. But the actual inflammation evidence is more nuanced.
Because I've seen people dunking in ice water and claiming it cures everything. That is where I start to side-eye things.
Appropriately so. Here's what's supported. Cold water immersion, specifically between 50 and 59 degrees Fahrenheit, does reduce acute inflammatory markers post-exercise. A 2021 meta-analysis in the Journal of Physiology confirmed meaningful reductions in muscle soreness and CRP after intense exercise when cold immersion was applied within 30 minutes.
So it works, but the timing matters.
Critically, and here's the important nuance. If you apply cold immediately after a strength training session, there's evidence it may blunt the hypertrophic adaptation. Research from a team at the Norwegian School of Sports Sciences, published in the Journal of Physiology, found that cold water immersion after resistance training reduced long-term muscle and strength gains.
Wait, so if you're trying to build muscle, the cold plunge right after lifting could actually work against you?
That appears to be the case, yes. The inflammatory signal from the workout is part of the adaptation mechanism. Suppress it too aggressively and you suppress the gain.
Y'all, this is why we do this show. Because that is a detail that almost nobody in the cold plunge marketing space will tell you.
Which brings us to a broader point. These are tools, not magic. Context matters enormously.
And if you found that useful, this is a great moment to hit like and subscribe. Seriously, this is what we're here for. Cutting through the noise so you get what actually works.
So let's talk practical protocols, because this is where most guidance falls short. For heat, the Lukanen research suggests sessions of 20 minutes at approximately 80 to 100 degrees Celsius are the sweet spot. But, and this matters for our audience, you don't need a finished sauna to capture meaningful benefit.
Thank you, because not all of us have a sauna in the backyard.
A hot bath at 40 to 42 degrees Celsius, that's around 107 Fahrenheit, for 20 minutes has shown comparable cardiovascular and relaxation responses in research from Loughborough University. Dr. Steve Faulkner led that work.
Okay, now we're talking. That is completely accessible. I can do a hot bath.
You likely already have.
Accidentally, yes, but now I'll be intentional about it. Here's the thing, though. I've been curious about the cold side. I'm not going to pretend I'm plunging into ice water. But cold showers, is there actual evidence, or is that just adjacent to the real thing?
There is some evidence. A randomized controlled trial out of the Netherlands, published in PLOS 1, found that cold showers of 30, 60 or 90 seconds taken daily for 30 days reduced sick day absences by roughly 29% compared to warm shower controls. The effect appeared to be immune modulation rather than direct inflammation reduction, but the two are related.
29% fewer sick days. That is compelling for literally everyone listening.
And the 30-second group had similar results to the 90-second group, so you don't need to suffer for long.
30 seconds of cold at the end of your shower, I can commit to that, I think.
The key word being think.
I walked right into that. But genuinely, for people in our audience who are managing joint discomfort, fatigue, or just that general sense of running hot all the time, where would you start?
If cardiovascular health and systemic inflammation are the priority, heat. Consistent intentional heat exposure 3 to 4 times per week, hot bath, accessible sauna, whatever you can sustain. If post-exercise recovery and immune function are the priority, end of shower cold exposure, and if you have access and the inclination, cold immersion delayed by several hours from your strength training.
Delayed. Not immediately after lifting, that's the key.
Correct. Wait at least 4 to 6 hours if you're doing both, or do cold in the morning, strength training in the afternoon.
I want to address the skeptics in our audience, because I know some of you are thinking this sounds like wellness cosplay, especially the cold plunge crowd on social media. And honestly, some of it is performance. But that doesn't invalidate the underlying biology.
Well said. The noise-to-signal ratio in this space is very poor, but the signal is real. The Lukanen cardiovascular data spans 20 years. The heat shock protein research is biochemistry, not self-report. We're not talking about crystals here.
And for the sandwich generation listeners, those of you managing your own health while keeping an eye on aging parents, the sauna data is particularly relevant for cardiovascular risk reduction. That's a meaningful number for a demographic where heart disease is the leading conversation.
And cognitive function, actually. There is emerging research, still early but promising, from Dr. Rhonda Patrick, who has written extensively on this, suggesting that heat shock proteins may have neuroprotective effects. That's a thread worth watching.
So this isn't just about feeling good after the gym. This is potentially long-game brain health.
Potentially. I'd flag that as emerging rather than established, but the direction is interesting.
I appreciate you holding that line. Evidence-based does not mean we ignore promising early research. It means we label it correctly.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're taking one thing from today, and I really do mean one, it's this. Start with heat. A hot bath, 20 minutes 3 or 4 times a week. It's the most accessible entry point. It has the deepest evidence base for systemic inflammation and cardiovascular benefit. And you probably already own everything you need.
And if you're going to add cold, 30 seconds at the end of your shower. Practical, evidence supported. And you won't need to explain to your family why there's a barrel of ice in the garden.
Y'all, that's the Wellness Rhythm Show for today. If this episode gave you something useful, a new way to think about thermal stress, a reason to take that hot bath without guilt, share it with someone who needs it. And if you haven't already, please do hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps us reach more people who are trying to cut through exactly this kind of noise.
Until next time, stay warm or cold. Apparently either will do.
I'll see you next week, y'all. This show is part of the VoxCrea.AI system. If you want a show like this for your organization without building it yourself,
go to VoxCrea.AI and request a sample episode.